42-24 run with complimentary plays here on the video report, and I'm going to take a look at your football games tonight. Packers and Vikings in the NFL, Arizona, Oregon in college football, plus a little betting advice when it comes to playing the series in the postseason. I find it kind of interesting here tonight that the Packers-Vikings game, just about every single handicapper here at the site pretty much passed on that game, and there's a number of reasons why, and I'll touch on them in my report. But in college football tonight, the big game, of course, the Pac-10 showdown, 10:30 Eastern Time, nationally televised, Oregon and Arizona. Of course, last year, the Ducks go to Tucson and get destroyed. Cost them a chance to play in the Pac-12 title game. Cost them, of course, a chance any further to even compete for the national championship. Can they get revenge tonight at home, laying a monster number of points? Well, listen, one of today's discount offers, guys, Steve Buden's #1 college football crew, the Cali Cartel, their first max wager release of the season. One and only $100 Thursday night game of the year, your Arizona-Oregon pick. Now remember, just this past Monday, they hit their first max wager of the year in the NFL. And you got it with the Chiefs, the 3-point home dog, crushing New England 41-14. You got that play for just $44, saving $60 off the regular price. And today, same deal. You save $60 off the regular price by using coupon code Steve, his first name, STEVE. Listen, they are the #1 college football crew last year. #1 this season, #1 3 of the past 6 years. They're off to a 5-0 start, college and NFL combined. Not only did they hit that $100 with the Chiefs on Monday night, but cashed with a $50 with the Dolphins in that road blowout in London of the Raiders on Sunday. And last Saturday, they hit with Temple as a $50 play. -7 at UConn in a 36-10 revenge route. And this play, of course, is twice as strong as either the Dolphins or the Owls. So that's what's going on there from Steve Buden. Turning to Brad Wilton for their second consecutive day for the $5 play of the day. Wilton yesterday cashing in with the Giants-Pirates over. You got it for $5. Same thing today. Pac-12 total of the year, Oregon, Arizona over under. You get it for $5. Regular price is $99. Coupon code BRAD5. The guy who says he is the Thursday night king, Trace Adams. Well, hell, normally a 1,000-star play is his top-rated selection. These raised the bar 1,500-star releases on Thursday nights, 50 and 34 with them, going back to 2007. After last Thursday, you got his big easy winner, UCLA, destroying Arizona State. You got that one for just $22. You get tonight's play for just $22 as well. His raised the bar 1,500-star lead pipe lock, Houston and Central Florida. Strong as his 1,500-star play on the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, guys. And you know what he did for you this weekend, right? In college and pro, right? Hey, remember what I'm alluding to, in case you don't remember, Saturday cashed in with a monster play, the biggest play of his career. Washington State, his dog shocker of the year, winning outright at Utah. Coupon code is TRACE22. That allows you to get it for $22 and save $77 in the process. Now, listen, I'm going to talk about the football games tonight because I think the best bets tonight are in baseball. And I've got a double play for you. You get both baseball selections, a $10 play on the early game between the Orioles and Tigers, $10 releases, 19-4 run for me over the past 6 weeks, and a $5 on the late game between the Royals and Angels. Both plays, $22, save $77 as well, as I go for winning day number 29 out of 42, and that coupon code is double play 22. Double play 22. DOUBLEPLAY, and the number 22, no space between anything. And you get both plays for just $22. FYI, you may see here that Gabriel DuPont has the biggest play of his career, a $200 release on the Orioles and Tigers. FYI, DuPont and I are on the same side of that Baltimore-Detroit contest. Now, let's talk about some of your football games tonight. Listen, as I said, very few people are touching this Packers-Vikings game, and it's understandably so because, you got a Packers team that's anywhere from a 7.5 to 8.5 point favorite. I was just checking here the Minneapolis Star-Tribune site, and I see that Teddy Bridgewater, who suffered a sprained ankle after that great performance against Atlanta at home on Sunday, is now listed as probable, despite just going through limited practice, returning to practice, in fact, for the first time on Wednesday. Listen, if Bridgewater gets hurt, your money is in on Christian Ponder. I don't know how you feel about that, but that would be worrisome. Short week for the Vikings, injured quarterback going to Green Bay. Seems like the Packers would be a lock. Do you remember the Packers' only home game this season? They made Geno Smith look like the second coming of Joe Namath for one half, and then they had to have that monstrous rally to come back for the 7-point win against the Jets. You're asking them to lay 7.5 to 8.5 tonight. So that's why I think it's a very difficult game. Now, true, the Vikings put 558 yards of offense on the board against Atlanta. at home. But those were the Falcons, and the Vikings were playing at home. And here you have Bridgewater making his road debut. But I got to be honest with you guys, the Packers' defense isn't much better, even at home, than the Falcons is anywhere. That's the fact. Dom Capers, defensive coordinator, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Still, Packers haven't played any good defense the past couple of years. Matter of fact, 2.5 seasons. Eddie Lacy has not been able to get on track, averaging just 3 yards a carry. So it's basically Aaron Rodgers against the world. What was impressive with the Vikings win against the Falcons is the fact that they were able to run the ball extremely well, over 240 yards with a bunch of no-names in the absence of Adrian Peterson. And again, Packers can't play defense. So you have so many questions here. Yeah, it would be tempting to go ahead with the Packers. I do think the Packers win this game. But covering this number, Jesus. And at the same time, I don't want to put my money on Teddy Bridgewater because have you looked at Teddy Bridgewater? He looks like a toothpick back there. One good hit, it looks like he's going to get snapped, okay? You could play the Packers and the under and a teaser, maybe, or excuse me, the over and a teaser, take the points down on the total and play the Packers and the over that way. If I had to lean any way in this game, I'd probably tell you that the way to go is to simply take the game to go over the posted price. I mean, you're looking at 48 points. I thought it would be around 53 when this line was released, so I'm kind of surprised. So that would be my free selection. I'd say go with the over in the contest. Now, Oregon and Arizona. Interesting game, of course. Oregon, as I alluded to earlier, of course, big-time revenge here, playing at home tonight. Oregon, listen, they barely got by Washington State on the road, or Washington in their last game. I mean, they don't play any defense, okay? They have one of the worst defenses in the country, let alone the Pac-12. They have an offensive line with 2 first-time starters. Yeah, they're going to put lots of points on the board, but so is Arizona in this game. Do you feel confident with Oregon as a 23.5-point chalk, even though they're at home in revenge? Yeah, they could win 59-33. I mean, they could possibly do that. I certainly think they have incentive to do so. Listen, Arizona, their last home game, they needed a Hail Mary pass to beat California 49-45. Before that, they barely got by Nevada 35-28 at home. They won their only other road game this season at University of Texas San Antonio, barely 26-23. They have a potent offense, but they don't play any defense either. The base scheme for Arizona is a 3-3-5 defense. In their last game against California, when the Golden Bears were throwing nonstop out of their spread attack, they basically played a prevent defense the entire game, going with a 3-2-6. And I'm sure that's going to be the philosophy of Rich Rod's team tonight. So, although I lean toward taking Oregon in the game and laying the big numbers, again, in this particular game, I think the way to go is to play the over in the contest. Once again, the over. As for the Houston-Central Florida game, listen, Central Florida, this is not the same Central Florida team that had Blake Bortles at quarterback last year, but Houston, not the same Houston team that had so much success last year before losing 19-12 at Central Florida, a game in which they were knocking on the door, first and goal at the 10, and in 4 tries, they were unable to get the game-tying touchdown in the final minute of play. So they're in revenge as well. But listen, do you remember how the Cougars opened up the season? Home opener, brand new stadium, getting upset, dominated by University of Texas San Antonio. Doesn't that strike the fear of God in you? As for Central Florida, they opened the season in Dublin against Penn State, and we've seen the Lions are just an average team. They fell behind early, took the lead, and then allowed the Lions to win the game on a last-second field goal. They got hammered at Missouri. Matty Mock had a big game against them, the Tigers quarterback, and I think John O'Korn, despite playing against an offensive line that offers leaky production, can do the same here tonight. No thought on that game. I mean, I lean a little toward Houston, but I don't think Houston's for real either. So really, your 2 free football picks are Oregon and Arizona over, Packers and Vikings over. In terms of the baseball series, listen, baseball series, even if you got to lay 2-1, it's a great chance to make money because you'll have a great opportunity to bail out if you have to. Even in these Division League Series playoffs, you have 5-game series, and of course, further down the road, you have 7-game series. So just like in the NBA playoffs, you always have a chance to bail out. Now, Baltimore, Detroit, that's a tough series because, you got 3 straight Cy Young Award winners, although one of them, Justin Verlander, doesn't pitch like he was a former Cy Young Award winner any longer. Baltimore has Chris Tillman, but how confident do you feel with Chen and Gonzalez following up as number 2 and 3 in the rotation? So there I don't really have an opinion. The one that I want to warn you about is the Angels series, because on paper the Angels you would think would be taking care of business against Kansas City. But obviously luck is on the Royals side, as we saw on Tuesday night with that 12th inning comeback win. The problem with the Angels is look at their pitchers. Yes, Gerald Weaver's going tonight. Then you got Matt Shoemaker, so good this season, so strong at home, but he hasn't pitched since September 15th because of a strained ribcage injury. Then number 3, you got C.J. Wilson, who was just rocked repeatedly in the second half of the season, especially in September. Never pitched well for the Rangers in the postseason with a 4.82 earned run average in 10 outings. And you've got Weaver then coming back in game number 4, if there is one, on 3 days rest. He's only done that 2 other times in his entire career. So I think that's a series where normally, first glance, I'd say, hey, go ahead and lay the 190 in, or 175 and take the Angels in the series and worry about it later. But my betting advice would be to stay away from the series. That'll do it, guys. Best of luck to you all, and I'll catch you again tomorrow.